Silence is a weapon. People think winners are loud. They think success comes with shouting, with proving, with constantly showing the world how smart you are. But let me tell you something I learned the hard way. Silence is a weapon. When you talk too much, you give your plans away, you give your emotions away, you give your power away. When you stay quiet, the world starts to wonder. They don't know your next move. They don't know what you are building. And curiosity, my friend, is a very powerful form of influence. I used to talk a lot when I was young, full of ideas, full of passion. I thought convincing people was what leaders do. I thought if I explained enough, argued enough, talked enough, people would believe in me. But every time I spoke too much, I noticed something. People stopped listening. They dismissed me faster. They doubted me more. Sometimes the more noise you make, the smaller you look. And the more silent you become, the more powerful you feel. Talking is easy. Silence takes discipline. When we were building Alibaba, so many people laughed. They said, "Jack, you are crazy. The internet in China, you will never succeed." In the beginning, I used to defend myself. I tried explaining. I tried convincing them. But every time I opened my mouth, it drained my energy, not theirs. One day I realized I don't need to answer them. I don't need to prove anything. I need to work. I need to build. I need to stay silent and let time argue for me. The moment I stopped talking and started quietly building, everything shifted. Silence became my armor. You see, silence is misunderstood. People think it means you don't know. They think it means you're weak. But real silence is strength. It is control. It is the moment when the world underestimates you, and that is when you become most dangerous. A lion doesn't roar while hunting. It moves quietly, patiently, deliberately, and when the world finally hears the roar, the hunt is already over. Silence is what turns doubt into fuel. It is what turns noise into focus. Success whispers before it roars. You don't need to announce your dreams. You don't need to convince doubters. Winners never waste energy explaining their vision to small minds. Talk less. Observe more. Build quietly. Because when you stay silent long enough, something magical happens. Your results begin to speak for you. And trust me, results will shout louder than your voice ever could. Quiet minds see more. When you live in noise, you become blind. You can't see opportunities. You can't hear your own thoughts. You become trapped in everyone else's opinions and expectations. I see so many young people today trying to speak louder, trying to stand out, trying to impress. They think being the loudest in the room makes them powerful. But let me tell you a truth I learned. Loud minds chase attention. Quiet minds collect information, and information builds empires. When I started Alibaba, I didn't have money or technology. What I did have was awareness. I watched. I listened. I studied the world quietly. I observed problems people ignored. While others competed in noise, I paid attention to silence. Noise comes from insecurity, the need to prove, the need to be seen. But quiet comes from clarity, the certainty that your time is coming. When you learn to be silent inside, you see a path others miss. Life is not decided by who shouts the loudest. Life rewards the one who sees the furthest. I remember sitting in rooms full of very smart people. They would debate, argue, interrupt each other. Everyone wanted to sound brilliant. Everyone wanted to look right. I stayed quiet, not because I had nothing to say, but because I wanted to understand. And every time I listened, I learned something. I saw what they did not see. Their blind spots, their fears, their assumptions. It's like chess. The one who watches the board wins, not the one who talks about winning. Quiet is not empty. Quiet is full of insight. Most people are so busy talking that they miss doors opening right in front of them. They are so busy trying to impress that they forget to improve. This is why winners move silently, not because they are hiding, but because they are observing. If you learn to calm your mind, to resist the urge to speak every time you feel something, to sit with your thoughts before acting, you gain a power that noise can never give you. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment, and silence builds that discipline. Silence sharpens your vision. It teaches you to see intentions, to notice patterns, to understand people without them telling you anything. In business, in life, in relationships, The one who listens always wins. When the mind is quiet, the world becomes loud. Opportunities reveal themselves. People show their true nature. Paths become clear. This is why the loud chase chaos and the quiet attract power. The winners of tomorrow are not the ones shouting today. They are the ones silently preparing. So do not fear being quiet. Fear being so loud that you cannot hear your future calling you. Let others talk. Let them rush. Let them chase noise. You stay calm. See clearly. Listen deeply. Because clarity is rare, and the world always bows to the ones who see what others cannot. Not every battle needs a voice. When you are building something meaningful, you will be attacked. People will question you, insult you, laugh at you, doubt you, and your first instinct will be to defend yourself, to argue, to fight, to prove them wrong immediately. I used to feel that too. When someone criticized me, I wanted to answer back. I wanted to say, you don't understand, I will show you. But I learned something powerful. Winners don't fight noise with noise. They don't waste energy arguing with people who don't matter. Not every battle deserves your voice. When I first started Alibaba, so many experts said, Jack, you don't understand business. They called me crazy. They said, a former English teacher with no money and no tech knowledge could never build a company. At first, I tried explaining. I tried convincing them, but every conversation drained me. I realized I wasn't fighting for my dream. I was fighting for my pride. And pride is a luxury dreamers cannot afford. Discipline means knowing when silence protects your mission more than words ever could. I remember once, early in my journey, a group of businessmen invited me to a meeting just to mock my idea. They smiled, but the smile was sharp. They asked question after question, not because they wanted to learn, but because they wanted to watch me fail. They thought their doubt would break me. But instead of reacting, instead of defending, I simply listened. I thanked them politely. I walked out quietly, and I went back to work. This moment taught me silence is not backing down. Silence is choosing to rise instead of wrestle. Results are the best argument, and time is the fairest judge. Weak people argue to feel strong. Strong people stay calm to stay in control. When you argue with someone who already decided not to believe in you, you lose twice. Your time and your energy. And energy is your greatest resource when you are building a dream. The world remembers doers, not debaters. It remembers outcomes, not opinions. Success is built in silence, but displayed in victory. And nothing silences critics like success. When the dream becomes real, the noise disappears on its own. Sometimes the smartest response is no response. Let them speak. Let them doubt. Let them laugh. Let them underestimate you. That is your advantage. When people underestimate you, you have freedom, you have space, you have time to grow. The bamboo plant grows underground silently for years before it suddenly rises above everything. Be the bamboo. Spend your energy growing roots, not proving leaves. In life, you must choose your battles. And the first battle is inside your ego. The moment you stop chasing the need to be right and start chasing the need to be better, you have already won. Winners don't fight every battle. They don't shout at every challenge. They rise above noise, and they let success speak for them in a voice louder than any argument ever could. Silence exposes true intentions. There is a strange thing that happens when you stop explaining yourself to people. When you stop chasing approval. When you stop trying to convince everyone. When you stop defending your dreams. Suddenly you start to see who truly believes in you. Silence becomes a filter. It separates those who support you from those who only clapped for you when you were small and harmless. When you stay quiet and start building, the right people grow closer and the wrong people fall away. Silence reveals truth in a way words never can. When I was younger, I thought friendship meant constant communication and reassurance. I believed support meant someone was always there to talk, to comfort, to agree with you. But when I started chasing my vision, many people disappeared from my life. At first, I felt betrayed. I wondered why they didn't stand with me. But later I understood they weren't leaving me. They were leaving the version of me that made them comfortable. Silence didn't push them away. Success exposed them. If your ambition makes someone uncomfortable, they were never cheering for you. They were cheering for your limits. There were people who said, "Jack, we believe in you." But when I stopped spending time proving myself to them and focused on working, they vanished. They needed constant access, constant updates, constant emotional feeding. Some people are not in your life to see you win. They are there to make sure you don't grow beyond them. When you go quiet, those people panic. They cannot feed on your doubts anymore. They cannot influence you with subtle negativity, so they leave. And let me tell you, their absence is a gift. In my early days, there were friends who wanted every decision explained, every move justified. They weren't curious, they were controlling. Silence freed me from that. And the people who truly cared, they didn't disappear. They didn't demand explanations. They watched quietly, they trusted quietly, they supported quietly. True allies do not need noise to believe in you. Their belief is not loud, it is consistent. A real supporter does not need proof before the success happens. They see your heart before they see your results. Silence humbles the world around you. It shows you who wants to walk beside you, not ahead or behind you. It exposes opportunists and reveals loyalty. It is painful sometimes because silence will take people from your life that you thought would be there forever. But understand this, growth requires separation. You cannot rise while holding on to everyone. Some hands you must release so you can climb higher. Success demands space, and silence creates that space. When people leave you because you stopped explaining yourself, don't chase them. Let them go. Their exit is part of your elevation. Every great journey begins with quiet distance from those who cannot walk your pace. Silence is a test, and the ones who remain are the ones meant to witness your success. So be still, build quietly, and trust that the right people will hear your silence as strength, not weakness. Because those who truly believe don't need noise. They believe in your vision even when the world cannot see it yet. Silence builds emotional discipline. In life and business, I have seen many intelligent people fail, not because they lacked talent, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they could not control their emotions. They reacted too quickly. They spoke too soon. They allowed anger, insecurity, and ego to guide their decisions. Let me tell you something. Silence is not just a communication strategy. It is emotional training. It teaches you to sit with discomfort instead of exploding. It teaches you to think before responding. It trains your mind to remain calm even when the world tries to provoke you. When someone criticizes you, mocks you, or doubts you, the first reaction is always emotional. We want to fight, we want to defend, we want to prove. That instinct feels powerful, but it is actually weakness disguised as passion. In the early years of Alibaba, I faced humiliation after humiliation. Investors rejected me. Professors doubted me. Even friends questioned me. And many times I wanted to argue. I wanted to show them why they were wrong. But arguing requires emotion, and emotion clouds judgment. Instead, I learned to breathe, to pause, to say nothing. Silence became my shield. I chose peace over pride. And that is one of the reasons I survived when others burned out. Emotional discipline is a rare skill. Most people lose everything because they cannot lose an argument. They throw away relationships because they cannot swallow pride. They make impulsive decisions because they cannot tolerate discomfort. But winners master themselves long before the world recognizes them. They understand that controlling emotions is controlling destiny. They realize that if someone can trigger you easily, they own you. And I refuse to let anyone own my peace or my vision. So I practice silence, not for others, but for myself. Silence is the gym where emotional strength is built. I remember hiring people who were brilliant but reactive. One small criticism, one disagreement, and they exploded. They could not listen. They could not wait. They could not breathe. They believed strong emotion made them strong leaders. But emotional chaos destroys empires long before competition does. A calm mind sees solutions. A quiet heart makes better decisions. Sometimes you win simply because you did not react. Sometimes your silence makes your enemy destroy themselves. When people attack you and you say nothing, they worry, they question, they lose power. Silence does not. Surrender. Silence observes. Think about a river. The silent water is the deepest. The loud water splashes but hardly moves forward. Be the deep river. Let your stillness confuse the noise. Let your discipline intimidate chaos. If someone insults you, smile inside and say nothing. If someone doubts you, work harder quietly. If life tests you, breathe and remain calm. This is how winners rise, not through noise, but through control. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and achievement, and silence is the foundation of discipline. Remember this, reacting is a reflex, responding is a skill, and silence is wisdom. The world respects the person who speaks with purpose, not the one who speaks with anger. Master your emotions and you will master your future. Stay silent long enough to let your strength mature, because when you finally speak, your voice will carry power, not emotion. And that is the mark of a true winner. When you are hungry for success, there is a temptation to talk about your plans, to announce your dreams, to tell the world what you will do. It feels good. It feels like movement, like progress. But talking about goals tricks your brain into feeling like you already achieved them. I've seen so many young people lose before they ever begin. Not because they were incapable, but because they wasted their energy, seeking applause instead of building quietly. Noise gives temporary pride. Silence gives permanent results. When we started Alibaba, we had nothing to show. No fancy office, no investors clapping for us, no journalists writing stories. But I told my team something important. Do not talk too much. Do not brag. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. We work quietly. People would ask, Jack, what are you planning? How will you compete with big companies? Where is your big strategy? And I always smiled. I did not argue. I did not give long speeches. I said one simple thing, give us time. You see, silence protects fragile dreams in their early stages. Talk exposes them to judgment before they are strong enough to survive. In my life, I have met two types of people, those who make promises loudly and those who build silently. The first group is always visible at the beginning. They talk, they post, they show pictures, they make announcements. But most of them disappear because applause becomes their reward. The second group disappears in the beginning. They work quietly, they study quietly, they fail quietly, and they rise quietly until one day the world wakes up and says, where did they come from? Winners are not loud in preparation, they are loud in achievement. I remember a young entrepreneur once came to me and said, Jack, I will build the next Alibaba. He talked with great confidence. He told everyone his vision. For weeks he spoke, and after 6 months, he quit. Why? Because instead of working, he needed validation. Meanwhile, another young man said nothing. He worked, he studied, he built slowly. Today, he runs a successful business. Noise is like sugar. It gives quick energy and then leaves you weak. Silent work is like rice. Slow, steady, nourishing, powerful. The world respects execution, not excitement. When you prepare quietly, you confuse people. They don't know what you are planning, so they cannot stop you. They cannot discourage you. They cannot interfere. Silence becomes your invisibility cloak. And when you finally show your results, it feels like magic. People will say, you are lucky. But luck, my friend, is when silent preparation meets the right moment. It's not luck. It's patience, discipline, and humility disguised as quiet. Talkers want to be noticed. Builders want to win. Don't announce your plans. Build them. Don't seek validation. Earn respect. Don't chase applause. Create results. Success does not come from noise. It comes from silent mornings, quiet nights, invisible grinding, and a heart that whispers, I am not done yet. One day your results will speak for you, and they will speak louder than any promise ever could. The season of isolation, where lions walk alone, people think success is crowded, that every powerful person is surrounded by cheers, applause, supporters. But the truth? The road to greatness is quiet, and the quiet will scare you before it transforms you. There comes a point in your journey where life separates you from the noise, not to punish you, but to prepare you. You will watch people drift away. Friends who once clapped for you will suddenly go silent. Family who believed in you will start doubting your path. The same people who once said, "I'm with you," will vanish the moment your life becomes uncomfortable to watch. Not because you are wrong, but because growth makes others confront their own stagnation. This is the season every winner faces. You'll sit in your room staring at the ceiling and wonder if you're losing your mind. You'll wake up before the world and question whether you're making any progress. You'll fight battles no one knows you're fighting. You'll wipe your tears quietly and pretend everything is fine, and in those silent hours you will hear a voice inside you whisper, "Keep going. You weren't meant to live like everyone else." Lions do not walk in crowds. They roam alone because their mission is not ordinary. Isolation is not loneliness. It is refinement. It is where your hunger sharpens, where distractions die, where your mind cleans itself of the world's noise and becomes laser-focused on your destiny. Do not fear this season. If you are alone right now, if people don't understand you, if your phone barely rings, congratulations. You are not failing. You are evolving beyond your environment. Butterflies don't socialize in cocoons. They suffer in silence and then introduce themselves to the world with wings. One day soon, you will step back into the world transformed. And the same people who ignored you will say, "I always knew you could do it." Smile when they say that, not because you need their validation, but because you now understand solitude wasn't a punishment. It was your training ground. When pressure becomes your teacher, there will come a time in your journey where life does not feel fair, and the weight on your shoulders will feel too heavy for one person to carry. Bills will pile up faster than the opportunities. People will expect from you what you can't yet give. Life will push you to the edge and whisper, "Quit. This is too much." But listen to me. Pressure is not the enemy. Pressure is proof that you're being shaped for something bigger. Diamonds don't form in comfort. Car engines don't ignite without compression. And legends are never born in rooms where life feels easy. Every time life presses you, it is not trying to crush you. It is trying to concentrate your power. You'll feel overwhelmed. You'll feel tired. You'll feel like you're carrying mountains while others stroll freely through life. But pressure reveals truth. It shows you who you are. It shows you who is really with you. And it forces you to discover strength you didn't know lived inside you. When the world bends, you bend, but don't break. Let the tension stretch your capacity. Let the difficulty sharpen your instincts. Let the pain teach you patience, discipline, and danger tolerance. Because there is a transformation happening that no one can see yet. A calm person is not someone who avoids storms, but someone who survived hurricanes and learned to stand anyway. When pressure surrounds you, don't run. Breathe, focus, continue. Tell yourself, life is not hurting me, life is preparing me. Your spine will become stronger. Your mind will become unshakable. Your spirit will grow untouchable. And one day, the same pressure that once scared you will become your advantage. While others panic, you will stay calm. While others quit, you will keep climbing. While others fear difficulty, you'll walk into it with confidence because you know something they don't. Pressure is how greatness introduces itself. You are not being stretched to break. You are being stretched to expand, to grow into the person who can carry the success that is coming. So when life turns the pressure up, smile a little, stand tall, because that moment is not your defeat, it is your becoming. The quiet power of walking away there is a moment in every winner's life when silence becomes more powerful than argument, when you realize not every battle deserves your fire, not every critic deserves your energy, and not every room deserves your presence. When you are growing, the world will test you. Some will provoke you just to pull you down to their level. Some will misunderstand your ambition and call it arrogance. And many will fear your transformation because your evolution exposes their refusal to change. In those moments, remember this truth. Not reacting is not weakness. It is strategy. It is intelligence. It is power. You don't prove strength by fighting every noise. You prove strength by acting like someone who already has something to lose. Maturity is when you choose silence, not because you have nothing to say, but because the conversation is too small for your future. Winners do not waste their fire on small fires. They do not argue with jealousy. They do not debate with doubt. They do not negotiate with insecurity. They walk away confidently, quietly, without anger, because they trust a truth others are afraid to accept. Silence is the language of those who already see the finish line. Silence is discipline. Silence is emotional control. Silence is the shield that protects your energy from those who want to drain it. People who fear losing attention shout. People who fear losing control scream. People who fear losing relevance gossip. But those who know where they are going, they move quietly, steadily, relentlessly. Walking away isn't retreat, it's elevation. It's choosing peace over ego, growth over conflict, purpose over distraction. And the day you master the art of silent movement, you stop living like someone trying to win and start living like someone who already has. So when they push you, don't push back. When they attack you, don't break character. When they doubt you, don't interrupt them. Just smile, nod, and keep walking. Because while they argue in circles, you are marching toward destiny. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they cannot stay quiet long enough to build. They want applause before effort, validation before results, and recognition before sacrifice. They announce their plans everywhere, hoping the world will cheer. But the world does not reward announcements. It rewards outcomes. Winners understand this deeply. When they are growing, they go silent. While others post motivational quotes, winners are building foundations. While others argue online, winners are studying, preparing, sharpening their weapons for the real battlefield. Silence is not hiding, it is incubation. Your dreams need darkness, privacy, patience, just like a seed needs soil, not spotlight. Noise is a sign of insecurity. It is what people create when they are afraid they won't succeed, so they seek approval instead of progress. Winners don't brag, they execute. They don't show their strategy, they show their results. And when you work quietly, something powerful happens. You remove pressure, you eliminate distraction, and you protect your vision from those who would doubt it, mock it, envy it, or sabotage it. People can only attack what they can see. So stay unseen until you are undeniable. Move without sound, like a hunter in the forest. Build without announcement, like a storm forming beyond the horizon. And then, when the time is right, arrive so loudly with success that silence becomes your signature weapon. Let others chase attention. Let others broadcast their dreams. You build yours, because one day they will say, "Where did you come from?" And you will answer with a smile, "I was here the whole time, working."